Well, thank you very much for being here. I'm Fernando Gutierrez, and as Susan said, I wrote this presentation, this paper with my colleague Jerónimo Rivera from la Universidad de La Sabana in Colombia. And I'm going to use this presentation because I think it's better for you, not for me, because you can understand better because of my pronunciation. And let me start with this. The crisis stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic has contributed to the emergence of a new generation with goals and expectations of different from those of previous generations. In the field of education, this new generation of centennials explores various paths of learning and professional development. Particularly, they exhibit diverse learning styles and preference in how they engage with and process information, highlighting the need for increased flexibility in pedagogical approaches. The concept of digital natives proposed by Prensky in 2001 has become limited, that's what we think, over the time. For this reason, a renewed term is suggested, digital inhabitants. These individuals seemingly master digital technologies, priorities immediacy, and navigate a hyper-connected world characterized by an overwhelming deluge of data and stimuli. In this environment, distinguishing between relevant and superfluous information becomes a crucial challenge for their cognitive development and critical capacity. The ability to filter, analyze, and effectively utilize this information overload should be an essential skill. However, its development is hindered. So let me share some ideas about what is our introduction to this topic. We analyze in this article the general consequence of the international health emergency in the education field, as well as the particular effects of prolonged confinement that has significantly affected the educational practices and dynamics in which young students were immersed. New generations have grown up in a digital environment and therefore think and learn differently from previous ones. Digital immigrants must make more effort to learn how to use digital technology and may struggle to adapt to the mindset of digital natives. The other important thing is that the strict lockdown measures due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which lasted more than 6 months in Latin America countries such as Colombia, Mexico, Chile, Peru, and Ecuador, have significantly contributed to some important behavioral changes in the generations currently in university. They had to undergo 2 to 3 years of secondary education under abnormal and suboptimal conditions, attending remote classes or in hybrid groups. Here, we're going to present some of the characteristics of digital inhabitants. The first, they are multi-device users with constant access to smartphones, tablets, laptops. University students excel at seamlessly switching between different activities. Another characteristic, they have a fragmented attention. Their focus is often divided, constantly shifting between apps or platforms. The continuous parallel attention concept discussed by Lynn Stone and deeply studied by Sherry Turkle is even more pronounced in this generation. The third, they are on-demand mentality. Accustomed to instant information, they expect quick answers and immediate solutions, whether through search engines like Google, AI tools like ChatGPT, or YouTube or TikTok tutorials. They are self-directed learners. They prefer to learn at their own pace, leveraging digital resources, videos, podcasts, articles, and online tools supplement classroom learning. They rapidly adapt to new platforms or software, exploring and learning independently. Um, with a preference for experience tailored to their specific interests and needs. Um, they are hyper connected. Their mobile devices keep them in constant touch with their social circles, and they are image-based social media users. Um, Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat are central to their identity and social relationships. And the last one, they have disconnection anxiety. Many experiences anxiety at the thought of being without internet. The problem that we found, we are now seemingly interacting with an entire generation of students who enter university classrooms without their study rituals or habits, experiencing special anxiety issues and low concentration. Students increasingly come to classrooms with more deficiencies compared with previous generations. We have a tremendous opportunity to connect the students with more accessible, motivating, and interactive educational environments. That's a challenge for teachers. Former Dean of Harvard College, Harry R. Lewis, critiques the economistic conception of many universities and their abandonment of comprehensive student education. In a way, this aligns with the intention of many students to have classrooms in favor of pragmatic education, focus on workforce skills, enable them to earn money quickly. So we, based on the compilation on literary review of documents, books, articles, reports, and other written materials relevant to this study topic, we did an analysis on the new generation of students called Centennials who have grown up in the digital environment. To carry out this analysis, we have employed qualitative methodology based on documentary analysis of journalistic, academic, and scientific sources from March 2019 to December 2023. Well, what we found, what discussions we found on this, well, some people talk about the generation of glass or crystal generation, characterized by its sensitivity, fragility, and high tolerance for criticisms and rejection. This is a generation that has developed in a hyper-connected world where the individual self is constantly exposed to the public sphere. This situation can lead in some cases to anxiety and depression due to increased exposure to stimuli and information, as well as heightened awareness of one's public image. Moreover, it is also a generation with a strong voice of social issues, willing to fight for the rights. This generation is more aware of inequality and injustice and is willing to take action to change the world. Lukyanov had, for the part, refute the characterization of young people as a fragile generation, arguing that unlike previous generations, they distinguish pain from trauma and prioritize safety as a supreme value. The South Korean philosopher Byung-Chul Han has also emphasized the issue that for many young people, their own opinion is more important than reality, and that are entrenched in the culture of likes and selfies, which leads to an expansion of narcissism and a conception of a world without nuances that calls the whole of the same. Young people migrate much of their lives to the digital environment with the consequent addiction to the devices and disconnection from the real world. It is possible that this hyperconnection produces real loneliness and a feeling of vulnerability in young people who seeks to fill their time with hedonistic stimuli that generate short-term satisfaction. The social media TikTok is a clear example of this phenomenon and could well exemplify this transactional and impersonal relationship for young people with their social media. I have to say that TikTok has a strong penetration in countries like Mexico, Colombia, and other in the south part of America. There is a trend among young people to value the protection and security of home, which slightly increased with the pandemic, and it is related to the ease of interacting with the world through mobile devices and social media. This coupled with a greater emphasis on the development of individual personality and audience segmentation, has fostered the idea that everyone should find their own path, a notion that is incredible power, but nonetheless presents some challenge related to anxiety and uncertainty it generates. Relativism holds that truths and values are contextual and depend in individuals and cultural perspectives. Let me go to the results of this. One of the main challenges centennials face is managing the overwhelming exposure to information. As digital inhabitants in a hyper-connected world, they struggle to differentiate between relevant and superfluous information. Developing the ability to filter analysis and effectively use the influx of data is critical for their cognitive development and critical thinking. Yet they often lack this skill. Educators and leaders can employ strategies that align with this generation preferences. Centennials often require different motivations than previous generations, driven by the context, including a need for instant gratification and frequent online interaction. Centennials also learn best through hands-on experiences and real-world applications. Educationals and leaders should incorporate projects, stimulations, and practical activities, creating an inclusive environment that values diverse perspectives. Some challenge and opportunities in this new digital environment. The new digital ecology that is emerging in this second decade of the new millennium has brought with it a series of challenges and opportunities for everyone, including centennials. It is important not to forget that while technology also opens up endless possibilities, it imposes certain limitations. However, the more people use it, the more they adapt to its form, structure, and function. For Korzybski and Bateson, human beings are limited in the way of knowing by the structure of the nervous system and the structure of their language. People in general experience the world indirectly through their abstraction of reality. This new generation must understand that communication technologies function as filters through which information passes, and depending on the filter they use, they will have a particular perception of the environment. According to Douglas Roscoff, we live in an era of present shock where the speed of information, constant interconnectedness, and data overload has disrupted our ability to process reality significantly. This emerging generation of digital inhabitants is strongly tied to the constant pursuit of immediacy. This dynamic hinders the ability to reflect, plan for the long term, and achieve deeper understanding. Some conclusions. COVID pandemic brought significant change to education, especially for university students. The transition to online and hybrid learning has become a lasting shift, requiring students to adapt to new platforms. Technology has become essential for accessing study materials and completing academic tasks. Teachers need to adapt by using digital tools effectively to facilitate student interaction. Additionally, there is a growing need to educate the students on online ethics digital responsibility, and critical thinking in their consumption of information due to their increased reliance on virtual communication. These new digital inhabitants displayed a wide variety of learning styles and preferences in terms of how they access and process information, demanding greater flexibility in teaching methods. And given the additional pressure that digital inhabitants may experience, teachers can play an important role in supporting the mental health and well-being of their students. Teachers should strive to create an atmosphere of trust and support even in virtual environments. Teachers must be sensitive and adapt their approach to include and values this diversity. This new digital ecology emerging in this second decade of the new millennium poses a series of challenges and opportunities for all individuals. That's what we shared some slides before. This is very important to remind. The new technologies which offer significant advantage for digital inhabitants also impose certain limitations. The more technology is used and relied upon, the greater this adaptation to its form, structure, and function with all the precautions that entails. And, well, we have here a lot of references of this material. Thank you for your attention.